Missouri Southern parts ways with head football coach Jeff Sims. Some Pitt State students received an emergency grant from the school.
Congress remains gridlocked over a new coronavirus relief bill. I'm Skyler Henry in Wilmington, Delaware, where President-elect Biden is calling for a robust plan to help the nation's economy.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Missouri Southern is making big changes to its football program. This is KOAM News at 5. Sports Director Jacob Leonard has details.
Missouri Southern has announced Jeff Sims has been let go as the head coach of the football program. Sims was hired in November of 2018 and spent only one full season as the leader of the program. The Lions were 2-9 in his only season in 2019. Southern did not play this fall due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Linebackers coach Joe Batasso will serve as interim head coach through the spring with a national search for a new head coach beginning soon. Now, in the release today, the school did not give a specific reason for the decision, and athletic director Jared Bruggeman was unavailable for an interview this afternoon.
There really wasn't a reason given, and I don't know that they have to give a reason. Dr. Van Galen treated me fairly. You could see that the vision for the university and maybe my vision weren't on the same page, and so when there's new leadership, they have the right to pick their team and move in their direction.
Now, this will be the second time Joe Batasso has served as an interim head coach for Missouri Southern football. We're going to have more from Sims tonight at 6. Dow.
Jacob, thanks. Some students at Pittsburgh State University have some extra cash in their pockets as the university finishes distributions of CARES Act funding. In the summer, PSU applied for the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund that would send schools money to use for emergency grants for students who were displaced due to the pandemic. PSU received a total of more than $2.6 million for students. The funds were distributed in 3 phases, the first being to Pell Grant students who automatically qualified to receive the funds. The second and third phases were distributed to students who applied for the funds and were eligible. Full-time students received $800 and part-timers received $400, with leftover funds distributed amongst all eligible students.
Had to have been enrolled in the spring semester and displaced. They couldn't have been a fully online enrolled student from the very beginning because they were not displaced because of the pandemic. So these students could have used those funds for whatever they felt necessary, if it was upgrading their laptops or, like I said, if they had to install Wi-Fi in their home.
Distributions have been completed and around 2,500 students received the funding. On Monday, the Joplin City Council held a strategic planning session and came up with a list of goals for the city to reach. One of those involves improving the city's appearance. That includes public areas maintained by the city. Areas like sidewalks, curbs, right-of-ways, and city parks are all part of that goal for areas of improvement. City leaders say they developed this goal after noticing some of the city's public areas weren't quite up to the standards they'd like.
And then also, as you drive by our parks, we tend to see trash in the stream bed, to maybe the parks not as maintained as we would like them to be. And so it's exploring all those different ways that we can improve the part of the community that we're responsible for.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about this goal and how the Parks Department feels. Doug Heddy joins us now with a first look at the weather. Doug.
Hey, Dow. It's actually turning out to be kind of a crummy afternoon into the evening hours. We got the rain, which has been increasing over the past couple hours. These light showers are going to continue to work through, but periods of rain throughout the overnight hours. In fact, you can see a little heavier band where you see the yellows and the oranges out toward Independence, Bartlesville, and then down toward Bonita. That's going to rotate through over the next couple hours, and then where the air mass is a little bit cooler, then we switch to snow once you get out toward Wichita. And I do think we're going to get some flakes of snow mixing in later on tonight, but not right now. We're sitting mainly into the low to mid 40s. Let's go through time. We continue to get rain throughout the overnight hours for us tonight, but after midnight we'll start to see a few flakes of snow mixing in as we drop back into the mid 30s. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, but of course we're going to break the system down for you here in just a little bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Thanks, Doug. President Trump is pressing ahead with his legal fight to overturn the 2020 election, and he may be making plans to run again if he fails. With 7 weeks to go until he takes office, President-elect Biden is making plans to tackle the coronavirus. Skylar Henry reports from Wilmington, Delaware.
President-elect Joe Biden is keeping his transition team focused on the pandemic. Today, he took part in a virtual roundtable of small business owners. Members of the incoming Biden administration say they need to take urgent action to stabilize the economy. Currently, more than 10 million people are out of work in the U.S.
Right now, the full Congress should come together and pass a robust package for relief.
Congress remains deadlocked on an emergency coronavirus relief bill, something President-elect Biden has called crucial. President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris are working from here in Delaware ahead of Inauguration Day, now just 7 weeks away.
We love you, President!
President Trump has yet to concede the race to Mr. Biden and is still asking courts to overturn the result. At a White House Christmas party on Tuesday, the president hinted that he will run again if his legal efforts fail.
It's been an amazing 4 years. We're trying to do another 4 years, otherwise I'll see you in 4 years.
Tuesday, Attorney General William Barr said the Department of Justice has seen no evidence of voter fraud that would have changed the election's outcome. The White House downplayed that remark Wednesday, saying Barr was not commenting on President Trump's still pending civil court claims. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Wilmington, Delaware.
The Justice Department is investigating a scheme that allegedly sought to lobby White House officials to grant pardons to unnamed individuals. The DOJ says no current or past government officials are the target of the probe. Still ahead, getting in the Yuletide spirit.
Oh, Christmas tree. I'm Nancy Chin with why more Americans are looking to buy real trees this year to create some holiday cheer.
And next in Health Watch, what a new survey shows about parental concerns for the mental health of children during this pandemic. The CDC changes its recommended quarantine time for people exposed to COVID-19. The new guidelines state that people who come into close contact with those infected with the virus should quarantine for 7 to 10 days. The previous recommendation called for a 14-day quarantine. The new recommendation suggests people can end their quarantine after 7 days if they receive a negative test. If you don't get tested, you should wait the entire 10 days. A new survey shows more and more parents are worried about the long-term effects of the pandemic on children's mental health, especially with the holidays coming. Reporter Michael George spoke with an expert who says it's critical for parents to help build resilience during this difficult time.
Megan Burke knows raising 3 kids during the COVID-19 pandemic is a struggle.
Every day, when is this coronavirus going to end? When is it over? I just want it to go away.
Everything normal has been disrupted, from school to seeing friends. Megan says it's impacting her 8-year-old.
We've noticed that she gets a little more angry or frustrated with how things are going, why she can't go to her dance class anymore.
A new survey from Nationwide Children's Hospital finds 66% of parents are worried their children's mental health will suffer even more as the pandemic continues into the winter. 57% say they're running out of ways to keep their kids positive.
They're really losing steam as far as how can I keep my kids engaged? How can I keep them happy and entertained?
Parker Houston is a pediatric psychologist. He says for kids to feel a sense of security and normalcy, parents need to be consistent.
Have a schedule, no matter for kids what the learning environment might be, to have 1, 2, or even 3 schedules if necessary and keep those routines.
He also encourages parents to check in regularly with their kids about how they're feeling.
Asking questions like, what was the best part of your day today? What was the hardest part of your day today?
Megan says she talks with her kids and they stick to a schedule. Her 8-year-old also meets with a counselor. Megan has also been organizing socially distanced parades for the holidays in her neighborhood.
They are just full of smiles and laughter, and it gives the kids a chance to see other kids, but from a distance.
Showing her kids that even at a time when everything's different, they can still have fun and be together. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Experts say parents can embrace change this year and try to come up with new, creative traditions for the holidays. And that is a look at today's health news. Doug returns next with his forecast, and a little bit later, we're going to hear from our pet vet on call.
Hi, I'm Dr. Eva Dudek from Parsons Pet Hospital. Coming up, we're going to tell you how you can help your blind dog.
Well, it's definitely turned out to be kind of a crummy afternoon as we've had the clouds, the on and off showers across the region, but at least our temperatures are well above freezing as most of us are sitting 43, 44, 45 degrees. And we're going to stay above freezing throughout the overnight hours tonight. But I do think we'll start to get some snow mixing in. The winds are kind of out of the east. Our storm system is to our south, so they rotate around the storm system counterclockwise at about 5 to 10. But you can see the roads are wet, so be careful if you are going to be out tonight. 43 feels like 40. Easterly winds at about 5. Humidity is at 82%. We'll slowly drop through the 40s into the 30s. I think we're going to bottom out right around 35 later on tonight. But look at the bands of rain starting to work in. Now, where you see the yellows and the oranges, that is moderate, even some heavy amounts of rain. The rain's been very, very light in our far northern counties, but these showers will continue to work through just periods of rain all night long. And you can see that little heavier batch really from Independence, Bonita, down toward Grand Lake. That's going to rotate through over the next couple hours. So we are going to get a quick burst of maybe a quarter, even a half an inch as that works through. Also some heavier rain as you work off to our east, Mount Vernon, Monette, Aurora, Cassville, and then a little bit of a lull right through northeastern parts of Oklahoma, and then it picks back up to the west. Now, where the air mass is a little bit colder, we're getting snow mixing in west of Wichita, and as our temperatures start to drop tonight, I do think we're going to start to see some big fat flakes that will mix in late tonight into tomorrow morning. But you can see this whole storm system wrapping up and working over us over the next 24 hours. So let's go through time. Here's that heavier batch of rain over the next couple hours. So here's 8 p.m. Let's go to about 11 p.m. Still just periods of rain. Our temperatures sitting near 40 degrees. After midnight, here's 2 a.m. Most of us are going to be sitting into the upper 30s. Rain continues. Let's go to 4, 5, 6. That's where we're going to have those big fat flakes, which are going to mix in with the rain into tomorrow morning, especially in southwestern parts of Missouri. And then as we go through the morning hours, we'll continue that rain-snow mix. And then finally, late morning into early afternoon, we're still going to have showers sticking around, but they will start to dissipate and rotate out of here. Snow-wise, it's too warm. We're not going to see any accumulations, but if you get up late tonight or into the morning hours, you are going to see those big fat flakes mixing in. 35 to start, 40 by noon, 42 during the afternoon hours, and most of this rain will start to work out of here late tomorrow. Clouds stick around tomorrow night, and then we'll start to get sunshine returning by the time we head into Friday, even though it's going to be a little bit on the chilly side. Rainfall amounts, I think most of us, half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, so we are going to get pretty good amounts of rain out of this system. And tonight at 10, we're going to do the winter forecast. The weekend looks good. Big storm system late next week into the weekend, so we're going to be discussing that as well. 43 tomorrow, 52 on Friday, but look at the weekend, plenty of sunshine, mid-50s.
Even without the accumulation, the prospect of having some snowflakes is a bit exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Of course. Thanks, Doug. The Columbus, Kansas Chamber of Commerce announced tonight's Christmas parade is canceled because of weather concerns. The Columbus parade was scheduled to begin at 6:30. Again, it's canceled. Coming up, a rise in demand for real trees this Christmas. First, though, we honor a local veteran. Bobby Blunk served in the U.S. Army in 1971 and 72. The Pitcher, Oklahoma native, was stationed in Vietnam. And we salute Private First Class Bobby Blunk, a four-state hero. Britain has become the first country to approve the Pfizer vaccine for emergency use. Pfizer and partner BioNTech announced today they received permission to use their vaccine across the pond. The first shots will be rolled out next week. Meantime, the U.S. isn't far behind. 2 vaccines are awaiting FDA approvals, which are expected this month. Healthcare workers would be among the first in line for the vaccine. Companies slowed hiring sharply in November. According to payroll processor ADP, private employers added just 307,000 workers last month. The services sector saw the bulk of the gains, with leisure and hospitality adding jobs despite rising restrictions on businesses. The pandemic has changed almost every aspect of life, and that has many leaning on an old tradition for a sense of normalcy. Nancy Chen reports.
Dad, look at this one.
The Myers family looked long and hard
How about that one?
to find the perfect Christmas tree.
You guys good with this?
It's a scene playing out at tree sellers nationwide. Seems the pandemic has people getting into the holiday spirit.
How about this one right here?
People are also cooped up in their houses. They're looking for something they can do.
And that's leading to a boost in business.
We knew people were going to come out. We knew we would be busy, but we didn't know it was going to be this much of an increase.
In one survey, 21% of people said they were more likely to get a real tree this year after having an artificial tree last year or no tree at all.
And why is that?
Well, no doubt because of the stress of the pandemic.
Doug Hunley with the National Christmas Tree Association says the desire to decorate follows a trend seen all year.
The nation's garden centers just had their best year in decades. People gardening, landscaping, and we hope and think that it can lead right into a big decorating year with real trees, garlands, wreaths.
There's been scattered tree shortages in recent years because of the economy, fires, and drought. Sellers have some concern about supplies, but right now most are well stocked, giving the Myers family plenty of options.
This year's Christmas tree, this year's been a rough year, and you're going to bring us through Christmas.
Appreciation for a Christmas to remember during a year many would like to forget. Nancy Chen.
This tree is heavy.
CBS News, New York.
Our pet vet on call next. CBS Evening News is next. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to hear from a Pitt State student who received an emergency grant from the school. Plus, how the changes to learning at an area school has affected student grades. And details on a resolution passed by the Miami City Council regarding CDC guidance. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. To get by, sometimes we all just need a little help from our friends. Today's question for our pet vet on call: how can we help our elderly dog that isn't able to see much at all?
Quite easily, actually. Be very cognizant of not rearranging or moving your furniture because they know the house. If you pull a chair out, put it back in. Never put a box or groceries or anything in their path of traffic because they know how to get around that house. If your yard is fenced in, same rules apply. If your yard is not fenced in, or if you want to just go for a walk, be their seeing eye person. Keep them on a leash or a harness, watch their every step, and gently and slowly guide them where you want to go. You'll be surprised how well they do. Blindness is not a death sentence. They do so well with a little help from their friends.
We invite questions from anyone. If you have one, you just send it to petvet@koamtv.com. Dr. Eva Dudek from the Parsons Pet Hospital answers a different question every Wednesday right here on KOAM News at 5. You can also find answers to previous questions on our website. Now let's check out our picks of the litter for this week. From the Joplin Humane Society, we've chosen Daniel, a male terrier mixed puppy. And from the Southeast Kansas Humane Society, we've chosen this 4-month-old color point short hair Mickey. If you're looking for a pet, might as well check out your local Humane Society. They always have a lot of good ones. Now let's check back with Doug Hetty for a final look at the weather.
All right, Dow, we're going to get just periods of rain throughout the evening hours and most of the overnight hours for us tonight. We are going to see a few flakes of snow mixing in late tonight into tomorrow morning. We're going to stay above freezing, so we're not going to have any issues on the roadways or across the entire four-state area. And then on and off showers tomorrow, high temp at 43.
Thanks, Doug, and thank you for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. We'll see you then. In the meantime, let's take care of ourselves and each other.